All right, brothers. Once again, it's on. The 1585 show is back. What's up, back? What's been going on?
Nothing much, cops. Man, happy to be back. It's good to be known, to be loved, to be seen.
Hey, man. It's always good to be seen, if not heard. We are on the NGBN TV network, YouTube, Facebook, the X, LinkedIn, broadcasting live, 6 million homes, Roku, Amazon Fire, all your Android devices, Apple, get your act together, you coming soon. We are live, baby. 1585 show like we never left, man. What's been going on with you, man? What's the latest with the McElroy family?
Man, ladies of the McElroy family, I got a giant living in my house. My 13-year-old son is now looking down on me. I don't know if I like that too much. Got a high schooler now, a ninth grader. My daughter, she's enjoying high school more than she liked middle school. Wife is as fabulous and as Mrs. Mac as ever. And I just joined the Brotherhood, Alpha Phi Fraternity Incorporated.
You know, oh man, what's the tagline for the Alphas? What do you guys say? 1919? What do you guys say?
Is 1906.
There it is. I get them mixed up sometimes. Congratulations, my brother. The
I
black and
appreciate
gold is too cold. Too cold? Is that also
ice, baby? Too
Ice,
cold, too
ice,
cold.
Now, how does that work, man? You being a well-established man of distinction in education, is this something that has been going on since we left UCLA, or is somebody reached out and say, "Hey, man, would you be a part of an honorary line?" And how did that work?
It goes to being around a bunch of alphas in the education system and just knowing a bunch of them and seeing the type of brothers that they were and what they provide for the community and for the people. And I was like, I got to be down with that. I can't be an island on my own. Let me join the army that wants to do right for the youth out there, that want to do right for the people out there. And hopefully that this all pays off, not just for myself in a brotherhood, but as far as mentorship with our young black men, mentorships according with the sororities with our young black women, and getting our people, straight, especially academically and also community wise, building that together. Because that whole D9, all the organizations, even though they're separate, they're still family. So we work together with everybody, like our boy J Mo.
J Mo is a Sigma, and
Yes, sir.
And we had Tommy Bennett was a Kappa. We had a couple of football players that were bold enough to go ahead and do both while we were in college, and but never too late. Never too late to make a difference. I mean, that's why I kind of joined this network, and that we're trying to do something for men's mental health, for men's in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And you saw the need with your fellow brothers in the Alpha Phi Alpha, and then it's about helping people. It's about doing good by your people. It's about doing the positive things, man. That's why I rock with you, Mac. I appreciate your diligence and your effort and what you saw yourself, getting yourself involved in something that's going to be a network. Because one thing we learned at UCLA was network. The power of networking. Like, the degree gets you nowhere, but the people you meet because of your degree, that's what the degree really, really pays for. But that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. All right, man, we got a show tonight. Topic that's near and dear to your heart, because you're the biggest women's college basketball fan I know.
Love women's basketball.
And we are experiencing a shift in the attention, the media coverage, the narratives. We had this discussion a couple of years ago during the pandemic.
Yes, we did.
About what it's going to take for the WNBA and women's basketball period to get the shine. What do you, we kind of have the obvious that media has fed us what the difference was, and they would say it was Caitlin Clark. But I think we know a lot better because we watch the game a lot more in depth. But from your perspective, man, women's college basketball in particular, what made this come about?
The media wanting to be involved in it, I think, in the lack of how interesting the men's college game has gotten. Our best players aren't staying long enough for us to get invested into them and into their careers. But for our ladies, we can. Caitlin Clark didn't have to be there for 4 years, but she did. She came out as a freshman averaging 26 points a game. So why should she stick around? She was probably good enough to join the WNBA at that point, but she wasn't the media darling then. At that point, it was Paige Beckers. So I think what they did is that they hitched their trailer onto a person who had talent, who people were able to invest into her career for all 4 years. I mean, she's a four-time All-American, two-time National Player of the Year. They were able to hitch their wagon onto this person that they can help captivate America into investing into that. With you hate to say it, you brought in a more white audience because to be truthful with you, the sport is being dominated by teams that are filled with black athletes. The past four national champions, South Carolina, Stanford, LSU, and now South Carolina again. They have black stars. They, had out there balling. But then you have this Iowa team, and you have Caitlin Clark, who they can hitch their wagon onto and say, "Hey, this is a girl that we can put our media coverage into to get more people interested." And it worked. And it's what we were saying. You got to be able to push these young ladies and push these narratives of these young ladies. I don't think she has the greatest personality in the world because we haven't seen much of her except for the State Farm commercial. But her game spoke for itself. Hitting logo threes, taking tough shots, leading the nation in scoring and assists. And doing that in a women's game is unheard of. And then breaking the all-time scoring record. So they were able to hitch their trailer, the media trailer, and the media hype onto one player. But then we also got to see the perfection of South Carolina, a team that lost all five starters from the year before and then go ahead and win. Even though they were the secondary story, I think it's pushing it because now people are worried about the transfer portal for women's college basketball. I know I'm following it. Van Lift just went from LSU to TCU. I'm hoping we get the girl from Stanford over here at UCLA, Irfan. I hope that she comes home and goes to UCLA. So this is going to be very interesting. The storylines are there. And as long as these young ladies don't decide to go to the WNBA, which they probably won't because they're probably making more money doing their NILs at the college level. And I just seen the state of Virginia is now letting the colleges pay NIL money to those players. So they're going to get more people coming in. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm glad that we were able to get this thing going finally because we have so many great players that didn't get this type of coverage. Cheryl Miller, Cheryl Swoop, even our girl for the Las Vegas, Asia Wilson. They didn't get this type of stuff. They didn't get this type of coverage, and now they got somebody that's going to get them that type of coverage. I hope they take this to the WNBA and get it out there, but still change the color. Don't keep the ball brown and white. Or orange and white. Change the cup ball straight orange. Let's play. Let these girls play, man.
So it's not like a gimmick game. Like I believe what game did we? XFL had a black and red ball, and ABA had a blue, red, white, and blue ball. It makes it kind of gimmicky, but at the same time, man. And I try to not focus too much on how we need to give those teams that were predominantly black their flowers in this whole push, this surge, this elevation, 18 million viewers to a semifinal game.
Yes.
It was black versus white. I mean, let's just look at it what it is. It looked like the presidential race between President Obama and, you know what I'm saying? It looked like it was a country divided, and it brought more fans. And you don't want to say the elephant in the room this was kind of based on great white hope versus this team from the inner city brought together by Dawn Staley and in the LSU team with Kim Mulkey and Angel Reese and the smack talk and the eyelashes and the everything. Like I'm like, man, we had this discussion. Like we were talking about raising the rim or lowering the rim. We're talking about sexualizing the girls, having their outfits super tight and making them glam up, and we're just kind of like, what's it going to take? I said, well, we like skills. We love to see shooting. We love to see. I like to see a story going into the game. Like I really plan to get home on time to watch Iowa versus LSU.
Yes.
And all the Samuel Jacksons and Django guys saying Caitlin Clark, and I'm kind of like, nah, Angel Reese and Flo J. Johnson. I'm like, nah, I'm going with the LSU. I'm rocking with LSU like I rock with President Obama. I'm rocking with the bros. And it was like, well, you're going with LSU because I was kind of like, no, I'm going to ride with my sisters because I know they're not getting a fair shake in this. because I'm like, Clune,
Kelsey Plum.
Kelsey
Yeah.
Clune did this last, like she did
Mm-hmm.
this, and we just didn't get to see it. And we've seen this before. Shamika Holdsclaw was Michael Jordan in the women's game, but she didn't get this kind of press. So I was like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna be a hater and say that Caitlin Clark's not good. I'm just gonna say we've seen this before. Now
Yes, sir.
she is getting these stats, and this is where you come in, Stat Mac. Are her stats inflated because she has the green light and her team was pretty good? She had some good players around her, maybe one or two other pros in that whole group, but she was the green light. She was allowed to jack up shots and get these points, and she was the focal point. She had the ball as long as James Harden for most
Yes.
sets. But I'm kind of like, yo, let's just appreciate her greatness and not step on those others who are actually contributing. Like if he had no villain, if she had no LSU, no South Carolina, would she, you know what I'm saying? Would it still be the magnitude of what we're looking at?
No, I don't think so. And her usage rate was off the chain. She ran a point. She did all the shooting. I mean, and you had a young lady on her team, Stokey, who's a sophomore. She went for 47 points in a game this season when given the opportunity to. So it wasn't like the narrative was saying like it was just her by herself carrying this team. Gabby Marshall was all freshman in the Big Ten. The year before, they had a three-time All Big Ten center who could put up 20 and 10. So it wasn't like it was just her getting it done, but she, of course, was that person that you can magnify on her and say, "See, look what she's doing." I mean, she is, like you say, her system. She is green, and in that Iowa system, a lot of people don't know the history of it. Iowa has had a player the year before under Coach Bluter. Iowa has had a NCAA leading scorer under Coach Bluter. So that system is allowing young athletes to go out there, be green if they're that person, and go out there and dictate the pace in the floor of the game and control it. I don't think they can do it like Caitlin Clark did, but because she took it to the next level, because that team had made it an Elite Eight before she had even got there. So they had talent, and then they just got the girl from Villanova that just transferred. That's a great score. So she's gonna be the next Caitlin Clark, and she just transferred over. Like I say, if you're watching the portal, they're gonna get the talent, and you're gonna get more young ladies that's gonna want to go there and be able to get the green light and have a good supporting cast and be able to play under that system. Coach Bluter having Caitlin Clark has really raised up her identity and her level and her star power as a coach because she is a very talented coach. She has beat some teams, but Iowa was not void of talent outside of Caitlin Clark. They had a lot of good players that can hit shots. I mean, they scored the same amount of points against South Carolina the year before. Caitlin Clark just didn't put up 41. She put up 30. Her 11 less points didn't help, but her teammates put up 46, 45 points. So man, that they got some talent over there, and it's gonna be interesting to see women's college basketball. Who's gonna be the next star? I know Paige Beckers is coming back, so they might hitch their wagon on the Paige Beckers, who's a hell of a player too. A little more system because Gino ain't letting nobody go green.
No,
Gino don't let nobody go green. No, you're not taking 30 shots. No, you're gonna play within the system. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, I think this season, if they do not capitalize on the hype and the star power of women's college basketball now and take that into the WNBA, the game will never get as big as it should be. I compare women's college basketball to what men's basketball was in the late 80s and early 90s. That love, like how they had Duke and everybody couldn't stand Duke unless she was a Dookie. So now you got that enemy team, and I think that enemy team in South Carolina now that everybody's going to beat, and you're going to get a lot of players who are going to either love South Carolina or hate Carolina and want to play against them. So I like where it's at right now. I like how this is going to be. And Kim Mulkey, she's a villain and she plays it well with her colorful outfit. So you got colorful coaches, you got good talented players that's going to stay 3 to 4 years, and with NIL they're probably going to stay 4 years, and then hopefully that raised that vision that we had a couple of years ago of getting this to the WNBA, these natural rivalries, this bird magic type rivalries, and just let it keep going and flowing.
That's my boy PT. Kai Fong's point guard Paul Tran said this is just like Magic Bird 79. As you allude to, I was waiting to see when you're going to bring up Paige Beckers, because the last 3 years you've been like, I can't stand Paige Beckers. She's not that good. She ain't Cheryl Miller. She ain't Cheryl Swoops. But they made her out to be. And then she gets injured, and they say, well, who else can we use? And then boom, Caitlin Clark comes out of nowhere, and she's all that you ask. She's getting buckets versus great defenders. I mean, she was running those
Yes.
screens like she was a little bit like Steph Curry. I mean, she was out there going around screens, popping people in the face after a step back. So she definitely had the tools. Now, the question you posed to me throughout the week as we produced this show is women's college basketball the best basketball product out right now? We're in the play-in tournament right now. This is the NBA's throwing straws trying to get us to watch, and this play-in thing was awesome. Like, you playing some elimination basketball is always fun to watch. But is that going to be able to compete with the 18 million viewers the women's game produced by the storylines they came up with this year and made us watch? Is that the best product in basketball today?
Yes, I think women's college basketball is the best product today because people have tuned in and see the skills. I mean, Full Wiley from South Carolina.
Oh yes,
man, God, she got
her
skills.
package,
I mean,
her late package.
man, her late package.
Can she dunk?
Amazing.
Can she dunk? She could dunk too, right?
She dunk. She can dunk. She can dunk. She can't grip the ball and dunk, but if it's up there on the rim, she can go up there and get it. And then you got the other young lady.
I'd rather see her do her lays though. I mean, her.
Yeah.
I mean, she got Kyrie game.
Yo, she got game. And then you got the Jada Williams at Arizona. You got Juju. Juju on the beat. Juju Watkins, man. I mean, she was killing, man. And I hate to be giving the Trojan any love. No, I don't. I'm not giving no Trojan
all
no love.
Juju. I mean, I think Juju transcends UCLA, USC hate.
Yeah, she. I mean, because you got. I watched her. In high school, and Juju was a star in high school where you had like grown NBA men coming to the Sierra Canyon to watch her play, to watch her get down, and that's what we want for our young ladies, to get that type of love, because you will see that when I remember when Hassan Adams played at Westchester, and the Knuckleheads, they came out to support him and see him play because of the hype. So, that's what we want. And then these girls are getting actually ranked now. Their McDonald's All-American game is good. They're getting to play in street ball classics and stuff like that. It's amazing. It's amazing that it's going to have. So the women's game right now is good because it's all skill, where the men can still dominate with just being physical monsters. Like, I don't need a jumper. I'm just going to dominate in the paint. I'm dominating the rim, or I'm all threes. So I think the product is so much better because there's still plays being ran. You can still see the sets being set up. You can see all of that because nobody's just really dominating with their athleticism. And the only way that the NBA will get those ratings if LeBron gets to the finals, because either people are going to want to see LeBron win or see LeBron lose. So that's that's the counterpart. But when he leaves, who the game falls to next? Where in this women's game, man, you got so many up and coming young ladies that can end up eventually going to the WNBA. The WNBA might have to expand. They might have to expand their teams to get all this talent out there and get it out on the court. And it's a possibility they can do that because they only got 3 rounds of the draft and they got 12 teams. It's a lot of talent out there. They're probably going to have to at least get to, maybe 22, 24 teams and get all that talent around, because there's a lot of great talent that's out there right now.
It's a tough kind of puzzle to crack because college game has built-in fandom. Mm-hmm. And the WNBA, if they were to expand, is that gonna, spread more? Like I said on my show last week, I'm now a Chicago Sky fan because of what they did in the draft. Like they did what the LA Sparks should have did. Like they boarding. They went and got 2 fan bases. You got South Carolina fan base and now LSU fan base are now Chicago Sky fans because of those 2 players they picked up. And we got Cameron Brink, and that's cute. You're gonna have some, but I don't think she's gonna sell as many tickets as Angel Reese would have. So no. I'm like, I know you want to put together a good product of players, but as far as playing into that business side of it, like Sweet Brother Noomsy said earlier, the WWE aspect of it, what makes a good story, and that's going to help us. Like LeBron James, like you said, is still the hottest name in the NBA, even though we're seeing his decline and his antics, which kind of pushed me the wrong way. Like, come on, Bron. Like, I've been trying to avoid putting Bron amongst the Love Report, but he's been finding his way on there by flopping and acting old. And I know how it is, but but at the same time, we're talking about the college basketball game being where it is for women. Will we see a shift in that we're seeing the popularity and the benefit of having the NIL as the carrot to make these young ladies stay in school the whole 4 years? We're seeing all these one and done young men go to the NBA and go to the G League. Are they going to find a way to you know, get the men's game to follow this pattern, because right now the women's game is king when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
basketball, because now we know the star's name. We get to see Juju for 2 more years because she can't go pro, which is,
Yep.
but thankfully she won't make more money in the pros than she's probably making right now, which will make more young ladies stay in college a lot longer. The young men might want to follow suit because, you know, being a star on a college campus, you don't pay for anything. You go through town and everyone's like your fan and you're loved. Whereas you go to the WNBA, you become a nobody again. And it's just right now, I think it's a sweet spot. Now, is it better than the NBA playoffs? For me, no. I know way more NBA players than I do know as far as the women's game. You might know more women's because you are avid and you are a coach. You do all the other stuff with the women's game. I'm just now, 10 years in getting into it. I had a long
Mm-hmm.
stretch of not watching it because they weren't, I wasn't that far into it. After Cheryl Swoops and them, I kind of fell away when Tina Thompson and all them girls kind of, got older.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's a spot where the WNBA is on notice and the men's game is on notice. What you gonna do? Because now you see what it could be. People want to see spectacle, intrigue, camaraderie, rivalry, storylines, skills,
Mm-hmm.
flamboyant coaches, a little bit of trash talk, a little bit in your
Mm-hmm.
face, like and just followings. And how do you duplicate that? It's gonna be the key. And like right now, I think it was luck. It was lightning in the bottle. It happened right now, and the perfect eclipse happened. Skill versus story, and all that stuff, and actual players that can actually play. And you had
Mm-hmm.
10 names you could name in the women's game. Whereas in the men's
Yep.
game, I didn't know. I'm a UConn fan, and I didn't know the fourth guy on the roster. I knew the top guys, but I didn't know the
Mm-hmm.
whole roster until the tournament, which is a problem. And now they're all going pro, so now I won't know them again.
Yeah. But this is how I sum up women's college basketball. This right here, that sparked the revolution. From that moment on, that at the end of that game with LSU and Iowa, that got everybody going. It sparked something because it made us see that, like you said, and I don't really agree with Mike Stafford on everything, but when we agree, we agree. That WWE aspect, man, you gotta have storylines, you gotta have plots,
Yeah,
you gotta have this thing to where people get interested just outside of the skill because the skill is always gonna be there, but can I invest emotionally into this player? Like I watched so many Iowa Hawkeye games this year just to try to poke holes in the Caitlin Clark's game. It was like, girl can ball, girl can ball.
she'll give you buckets. Elliot Fitness,
She'll give you buckets.
she'll score
And,
10 out of 13 in
yeah,
LA Fitness.
yeah, and then I love, like you said, I love what the Chicago Sky did, get the fan bases. But what they also did is that women's basketball still depends on the bigs being productive. You got two rebounders that are going to clean the board. Angel Reese, people know she's a hustle player. She's going to hustle and get boards. And Cardoso can't coach 6'7". You can't coach 6'7". And I don't mind the Cameron Brink pick for the Sparks, but I do like the Rakia Jackson. Rakia Jackson, Tennessee hasn't been what they used to be, but that girl can ball too. So it's gonna be interesting, man. I can't wait. I'm gonna pay my $12 to become a Spark season ticket holder, and then get to some games.
Is it really $12? Like,
I don't know,
is
but
it
it
really?
can't be that expensive. Because the
Oh,
last time I went to a Sparks game, my former student Rashonda Gray was playing, and she played for the Atlanta Dream, and they came out here, and we got tickets up at the top, and we were in the middle of the arena by the time the game was at the end. We kept
hey man,
sliding down and sliding down.
take
So
your daughter.
yeah,
She might get put in the game. You
you
take your
never
daughter,
know.
and she might get a triple double. And they say, "Can you come back next week?" She said, "I got school next week. I can't go, man." I want to say hello to the people on the line. We got Mike Staff in here always. I got Ian Hill, the proprietor, the engineer, the doctor of the NGBN TV network. I got Paul Tran, PT, the point guard, Long Beach Poly, 1993. In here, I got the Queen Elaine. Has always been
Queen
the support.
Elaine,
Is always in the building. James Mack, your other cousin from another
my
mother.
cousin from another
In
mother.
here, I got Rubio in here. Rubio Method. He said it's showtime for us. He's always saying it's showtime.
Ooh, big sexy Rubio.
Yeah, Big Rubio. He's thin now. He's real thin. Big Mike said he loves you too, even though y'all fight like cats and dogs. The Queen says another thing that helped NCAA women's game is that the NCAA was intentional with broadcasting more games.
Yes, and that's
meaningful
big.
games. As I watch a bunch of meaningless baseball games right now, I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a long season.
Long season.
Mike said it's about $2,400 for a season ticket. $2,400. And my big brother Johnny Ack on the X. So X is working. Johnny Ack. Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Hail Haile Selassie. Amen. All right. I got Deacon Hill in here. What up, Big Deek? Deacon
the Deacon in the business.
Yeah,
what's up,
man.
Deek?
Hey, man. Praise Yeshua. All way. All right, man. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We're going to talk about what's your favorite, women's sports or men's sports? Oh, buddy. It might get ugly up in here. Let me see where
we go.
Where we go. Oh, let's go to our FD.
1 week after launching our exclusive sneak peek, NGBN TV was live for 3 days of continuous coverage from Super Bowl 58 in Las Vegas.
NGBN TV is live from Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58.
The one-of-a-kind streaming TV network for men in their 40s, 50s, and 60s was the conversation for the big game about men's mental health in the world of athletes, celebrities, and influencers were on notice. But we're just getting started with new partnerships announced like the Team Nike 3-on-3 Championship and new platforms available to download the NGBN TV app. So, what are you waiting for? Download the app today from your favorite streaming device or check us out at ngbn.tv. This is NGBN TV.
All right, we back up in here, man. Much respect to the people who follow the 1585 show. Make sure you follow. Make sure you like. Make sure you share on all your social media platforms, man. Just two Bruins chopping it up. What you call it? Stomping and chicken hawking. Stomping, walking, right. And chicken hawking like we used to do. So you also posed a question, man. Right now, women's sports, men's sports. And you got to go down the line. Women's softball trumps men's baseball in college.
Oh yeah, big time.
Big time.
Big time.
It's a valid question. I mean, you posed it. What's your say?
Women's sports, man, they bring the drama. I mean, I watched the last part of the Texas-Oklahoma softball game where Texas pulled the upset. Oklahoma had like a 47-game win streak in the Big 12, and Texas broke it on a controversial play that they had to go to replay to see if she tagged the girl out or not. And I'm sitting here like, oh, did she tag her? I thought she tagged her. Did I see the tag? So, I mean, I'm enjoying women's sports outside of the WNBA because
we're having a little technical difficulties. You just still there, Mac? I think Mac might have froze a little bit. We'll see when he comes back live. If I see him get motion, he got kicked out a little bit. So my take on it: do I prefer men's or women's sports? I'm gonna rock with the men because football. I see Mac in the green room. Let's get him back on here. Is he back? Yeah, there he is.
Yeah, my America Online is messing up again, man.
Get off that Napster. Get off that Napster and that MySpace, man. You gotta close those windows. It's taking all your bandwidth. Get off your Earthlink.
Oh no, I only got one window. It's this window right here, man.
I can't lie. I got about 100 tabs open on my top of my screen, and whenever I do a presentation, the students are like, "You got a lot of tabs open." I got a lot going on, man. But you were saying, man, you got the women's game right now, a softball game. We had your entry.
Women's tennis, I think is better than men's tennis. I think when you got the Williams sisters in there, along with Martina Hingis at the time, and Lindsay Davenport, and Anna Kournikova. You brought a lot of drama and a lot of attention to the women's game, and ever since then, it's been really, really good. Besides, when men get really good, they're just super dominant. Like not Sampras. What's the new guy? See, look, I don't even pay attention to men's tennis like that, but he was just dominate, man. Djokovic, I think his name. Yeah, he was just killing. Yeah, he was just killing, man. Like he could be beat. And then there's no women's football, so we still got to do the NFL. But I'm quite sure if we put a bunch of women in pads and put it on TV, it would be very entertaining. It'd probably be a fight after every play, but it would probably be very entertaining.
Well, they actually have a league. It's the lingerie league.
I'm not watching that.
Yeah, it's smut football. It's smut football, indoor football, and the girls are wearing, scantily clad, and they got pads on. So it's a bunch of, I guess it's next level strippers. Like, if that's your thing, but it's not real football. I believe girls flag football is going to be a CIF sport.
Yeah, it is. It's already a CIF sport this year. I'm the head coach at Crenshaw. We went 17-2. We lost in the semifinals, not the semifinals. We lost in the second round of playoffs to Birmingham, who was undefeated. I don't know, but we were the number 2 seed. They were the number 7 seed, and they were undefeated though. So I don't know how they made that matchup happen. They beat us. We played bad at the worst time, but girls flag football, especially from Southern California, is really, really big. The dominant team is Newport Harbor, and everybody's trying to catch up because they have girls flag football team in Orange County for a long time. So those girls are kind of ahead of everybody else. But man, I got at least 30 something girls that are willing to try out right now. And I got the majority of my team coming back. So girls flag football is going to get interesting. Right now, it's just an NAIA sport at the college level. But from what I heard from one of the NAIA coaches, University of Oregon is really trying to get this going and trying to get the Nike money behind it so they can offer it as a NCAA sport. So we're going to see how that plays out.
Man, Elaine said men's or women's volleyball. I got women's.
Men's.
Right? Men's?
When UCLA won it last year, they beat Hawaii, man, I was all in the TV, bro. I was all up in that TV.
I mean, that mess look dangerous, man. The men's game just looks dangerous, man. It don't look safe.
Don't get hit in the face with the ball.
They are smacking that ball. I prefer the women's game in volleyball because I know Jenny Johnson-Jordan, I know Annette Buckner. I know them, Annette Buckner-Davis, I should say. And they're, Kevin Jordan, Jenny Jordan's daughter is playing at Long Beach State. So I kind of, knowing the people helps me really get into the different sports. I'm always looking for someone that I know. I even watch San Jose State basketball when my son is watching the game as a football player from the stands. I'm watching the game because I'm trying to live with him and talk about how trash they are. But it is. I mean, geez. SG in here at Plug One SG Trilogy said, "I've watched the lingerie football for research purposes only."
Yeah, okay.
Very, very, very understandable. I needed to make sure. You have to make sure. You got to check things out before you
make sure the fullbacks are really dominating.
They're actually playing pretty. They're playing. They're playing some good ball, but women's volleyball for a multitude of reasons. Michael Stafford also watches women's volleyball for research purposes. Deacon Hill said, the booty out football league. Oh, Deacon Hill, we can't watch it for longer than 2 minutes. That's the key. Elaine said it's a tie. Volleyball, men's and women's is a tie. It's a tie.
Yeah. I mean, what about the contact sports, the MMA and boxing? Which would you prefer? I'm male chauvinist. I don't like to see women fight. Even though boxing I can stomach because they're padded gloves and they're very quick to stop the fight. Whereas in mixed martial arts, if there's a dominant puncher, oh my God, it can get ugly. It can get really, really ugly in there. And women are so headstrong, they will not tap out. They'll just keep getting whooped, and before you know it, she got lumps on her face. And I'm just kind of like, and the preview, they're all glammed up. Like, we got, this pretty chick over here versus this pretty chick over here, and before you know it, they both look like botched, plastic surgery, lab monkeys or whatever. But it's just,
hard to watch, but I'm all for the inclusion. Let everybody fight. Let everybody participate. I'm not for the transgender women fighting against women.
Oh no,
I can't have that. I can't have that.
Yeah.
Give them their own event. Find another transgender woman to fight. Y'all can have at it, but don't. That's gonna get real sticky. And that's a whole nother topic right there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Really is. Mike Staff said, I don't like seeing women's mixed martial arts, but boxing is okay. I agree with Mike on that one too. Women aren't as strong as men, but they are tougher than men. They'll take that pain.
They'll take it, yeah.
They'll take the pain.
I've seen a couple of MMA fights. I'm like, she should stop, and she just keep going. She just keeps going. I'm like, no, stop this, man. Stop that.
Oh man. Yeah, man. Well, it just depends on the sport though. I mean, men, of course, football. And for basketball, I'm a little bit more still men because I'm, as far as the league's concerned, I'm all totally invested in my Sixers, advancing. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy Butler got hurt for the Heat, so now that's a trip. And then LeBron got ran over by Zion Williamson, which is something that, is going to make the Tender Love Report one day. And, the stories, the stars that they produce in the NBA are still right there.
Yeah,
so it's hard to deny that. So, and in baseball, professional baseball, there's no
professional women's league,
it's just the Olympics, and that's kind of where you get cut off. But I can see where you're coming from. Women do dominate. For me, tennis, volleyball, track and field.
Yeah, track and field. I would rather watch the women. Yeah, I'd rather watch the women. Yeah.
I mean, I see Sha'Carri every day on my phone. Like every single day, I see Sha'Carri, and it's just hard not to see her because she's everywhere and she's marketable and she's fun to watch. Yes. Now, she'd probably be a piece of work to talk to. Because she seems like she's
you might need the bouncing ball. You might need the bouncing ball as she talks.
She talks too fast, but yeah. All right, man. Switching gears a little bit, saying how much stardom has been created by the women's college basketball game. A segue from that topic would be, well, does Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and players like that deserve a statue? What dictates a statue on any level? Like, what is the criteria for someone to be immortalized outside of an arena? As we laughed at AI getting his little trophy of a Heisman Trophy statue in front of the Sixers facility, practice facility, we all laughed, and I'm like, that's standard for the Sixers facility, but he got one because he changed the whole culture that was dead for so long and became a giant, an idol, so to speak, in that community. But what, like, Stockton and Malone have statues outside of the Utah Jazz arena. In your opinion, what dictates a person being immortalized by an organization?
I don't know, because I still have a gripe with 95th Street Elementary School about my statue for kickball. So I still need my statue out there. Nobody dominated the kickball field the way I did at 95th Street Elementary
Apparently
School.
somebody did, because they didn't give you
they give me my statue.
Like what you did is not so great because somebody came right after you and did it just as good.
So I think
baby bouncies
for sure. And I got to kick the backstop before I come up and kick the ball. I think it's the impact that you had, not just on your franchise, but in the league. Like Allen Iverson made it cool to be a bruh in the league. Like, you can be a brother in the league because of Allen Iverson. Like, you can show up with the cornrows and you can talk and just have this ruggedness to you, where most times guys were more dialed down in their interviews and things like that. So his impact on the league, I mean, it changed it. I think he added so much value to the league, because you've seen kids in the inner city going, I can be him. That I don't need to change to get to this league. I can be him and I can still make it. So I think, like, he should get a bigger statue. But, I think the statue is monumental because that guy who was so little and so dominant in his prime, I think it needs to be seen that way, because then you don't think that he was this larger than life guy. He was this little, tough, scrappy guy from what I think is Newport News, Virginia.
Newport News.
I think that embodies him. So, I mean, the criteria got to be impact on the program and your impact on the league. Like, Asia Wilson got her statue at South Carolina. Her impact was, my grandmother couldn't walk this campus, in her day. But now her granddaughter has the statue right here because of the impact that she had on the campus and getting South Carolina women's basketball on the map. or like we got Kareem, like in front of the Staples. No, it's not Staples no more. Was it the Crypto Arena? I don't believe you named a stadium Crypto in LA. That's crazy. And it's blue, and it's Crypto. That's crazy. But we got everybody in front of it. It's starting to be a little tacky. We got Chick Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal. They soon to have. They already got the Kobe one up there. We got so many people that's there. It's starting to get ridiculous, but it's the Lakers, and they got a lot of people who have big impacts on the league. So I just think it's about the impact.
Why does De La Hoya have a trophy up there? Like, why?
Because he fought some of his big fights there at Staples, and then he's a LA guy, so I think it was just good to mind. He's one of the best boxers to ever come out of the LA area, so I think that's why. But yeah, it's just impact on the sport, impact on your franchise. If you had a good impact on your franchise. I don't necessarily think you have to have a championship, because Dominique Wilkins got one in Atlanta, and he deserved it. Because even still to this day, even though they have the young kid out there balling right now, when I think of Atlanta Hawks, I think of Dominique Wilkins. That's who I think of. So
does that mean the Hawks never gonna win a championship unless it's
just start putting people up there?
Trae Young gonna get one. He's gonna have a tattoo just like this. He gonna do the bird because he ain't. Oh man, I think they handing out trophies like candy, man. Like, just to have one. Mike Stats said Kobe's is the biggest in the league. How is Kobe's statue bigger than Shaq's? Like, if it's gonna be up to scale, the Wilt Chamberlain statue is kind of busy. It's like 3 things going on one statue. It's like Elaine said. It's tough. And she says, there should be some longevity with success with an organization, but longevity is no longer a thing. It has to be, just like the Hall of Fame, some fandom, like celebrity, on top of production. How much of the impact, like who's going to put up Chris Paul's statue? Like, does Chris Paul get a statue? No.
No.
Like,
he should though, but he didn't stay with a franchise long enough to get one.
That's where longevity comes in. Like, is it going to be in New Orleans? Is it going to be, like, he did nothing in New Orleans, but that's where he started out, right? And I'm not even a Chris Paul fan. I'm not sure. I don't get the hype of Chris Paul. But people like that who were, the Blake Griffin type, who had great runs in a certain organization, but never really accomplished a whole bunch. Whereas you had John Stockton and Karl Malone in Utah, they had to deal with Michael Jordan. So they never got the championship, but they would figure like, these people were here 20 years, and we're going to go ahead and honor them in this fashion. I believe Wilt only brought Philadelphia 1 championship. It's just every organization is individually different. The Cowboys Ring of Honor with their jerseys around, every organization is different, but I'm just trying to think, they gave Stephon Marbury a statue in China. I don't know,
He deserved that. He dominated that league. He dominated that league.
Is he still playing? Is he still playing? They're going to give Dwight Howard a statue because he's scoring 100 points a game. I mean, is it the ultimate, or is the Hall of Fame the measure? Now we're seeing guys getting the Hall of Fame that we somehow...
Michael Cooper.
Is Michael Cooper getting in? Is he in?
He's in. I don't know why, but he's in.
How did Maurice Cheeks get a statue in Philadelphia? Like, didn't Maurice Cheeks play the Norm Nixon role for Philadelphia? Like, he was a good point guard, but he was expendable. I mean,
no, because Mo Cheeks was a really good defender and he was a tough guy. I don't know. His numbers don't say he should be in the Hall of Fame, but he's there.
But he got a Philadelphia statue, so who knows? But as far as the Hall of Fame's concerned, it's going to get sticky because you have those Robert Horry types. Vince Carter got in on celebrity, right? Because Vince Carter didn't have any substance. He played 21 years. He averaged 20 points a game, which most NBA players are going to score 20 points a game now because, the 3-point line and being able to shoot the ball at will. But is it more than stats with certain sports? Like, you put up Troy Aikman next to, your next Hall of Famer, and they don't match up. But Troy Aikman got 3 championships, but Jim Kelly has no championships. Dan Marino has no championship, but both Jim Kelly and Dan Marino are way better than Troy Aikman.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, but it's also once again, like we said, the media. The media gives out these narratives of who deserves what and who did what. Like you said, you look at Troy Aikman's numbers; they do not compare to other Hall of Fame quarterbacks. But neither does Terry Bradshaw. But they were on championship teams. They were the quarterbacks. They were the generals of it. I like what Toronto did with Vince Carter. The logo is just basically Vince Carter with a raptor head. They got the famous between the leg dunk. So sometimes you can honor these guys without having to build 1,001 statues in front of the arena. I mean, because who do you put in Milwaukee? Is it going to be Giannis? Is it Kareem, who actually put the franchise on the map? Is it Sidney Moncrief, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year? Probably, the guy in the '80s that carried that franchise. So Dodger Stadium, a Yankee Stadium. What do you do? I like what the Yankees did. They got all the statues like in the back somewhere where people can see it and they take a tour of it. But these legendary franchises with all these players, would you use like how Crypto or Staples just throw everybody out in front? Go ahead. Why not? The guy that sold popcorn, for 20 years there, put a statue of him, popcorn. Clipper Darrell should get one.
Yeah,
it's the impact that you have on a franchise and in the league. I think Vince Carter made dunking sexy. So, the dunk contest was dying, and Vince Carter in one failed dunk just spruced it back. The whole competition was epic because it was just basically him dunking over, and nobody else was competing. But yeah, it's the impact that you have on the league and the things that you do and for your franchise. So, there's be some guys that shouldn't get one. I know the next thing is how many statues does LeBron
get? Is he get 3?
I think they should just put one in Cleveland. That's it.
That's it.
He's
not even a top 5 Laker. So if you have to think about the recency bias that we are having when they let Ben Wallace in the Hall of Fame. And I was just kind of like, yeah, he was Defensive Player of the Year a couple years or whatever, but that seemed premature. Like that just seemed like, how is that an automatic? And then they have a question, well, how is Chauncey Billups in? The same way Ben Wallace got in. Is Tayshaun Prince next? Like anybody else on the team want to get in? Does
Rip Hamilton?
Does Rip get in?
Does he should. He was the best player on the team.
The best player on the team.
And he's the best player on the team.
Was Ty Law that good for the Patriots? Or was it the scheme? It's he's in the Hall of Fame. And it's like, well, it's like Elaine said, it's media based. The media, who they like, who they have on their mind, who's on the ballot. Like you can sit there and say, well, so-and-so needs to be on the ballot. Not this year. And before you know, it's like Art Monk. 20 years later. Oh yeah, Art Monk? All right, let him in now.
You forgot about him. Yep.
Forgot about him. And it's not that fair when it comes to that, but I think it's becoming so watered down as far as who they're letting in. It needs to be a lot more strict like baseball. Like baseball is not going to let Andrew Jones in. And baseball, he was a baller. I'm like, how's Andrew Jones not in the Hall of Fame? He's not even in the conversation. They're like, oh no, he's mediocre. I'm like, he was mediocre for a long time, batting 300. I'm like, I think that's the standard, right? They're like, nah, he had some down years in here and there. I'm like, that's cold-blooded because in the NBA, if you average 40% from 3, you going to the Hall of Fame.
You're in there. Yeah.
Elaine said, let's draw straws.
Let's draw straws.
Oh man, Big Brother act. It's hard, man. What Miss Mac said, I was there a few days ago and saw Dustin Brown. Does he get in? Does Dustin Brown get in? As we get ready to close out, man, you and I both are dads. You and I both are coaches. You and I both are former players. We're seeing a lot of athletes do dumb stuff and throwing it all away. As we get ready to, final words. If you had an opportunity to speak to someone like Rashid Rice or the young man from the Toronto Raptors who gambled 20 grand and lost his career, what can we say to the young folks? Say we have a symposium right now. What are your words to these young people who are now getting rich off of NIL real quick and getting these fast cars and getting all this access to celebrity before it's time for before the maturation process happens, what could you say to them to help them avoid these pitfalls?
The first thing I would open up with is stupidity is an addiction. That's what I would open up with, because you can do one stupid thing that magnifies so much negativity in your life that you lose the opportunity to set your family up and all the future generations after that up, that they would never have to do any type of blue collar hard work unless that's something that they really wanted to do. That man blew $2 million a year contract for a $20,000 bet. Like, first of all, you're rich. You don't need that $20,000. What was that going to do for you? You know what I'm saying? Because stupidity is an addiction. You know, why are you racing this car? Like, dude, you're a Super Bowl champ. You're Patrick Mahomes' go-to guy right now. Live off of that. Make that, man. The opportunities that you can open up for your family and the things like that because of your status, you just killed it because of stupidity that you don't need to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my topic. Don't be out there just doing stupid stuff because you've made it. There's people in your family that have never seen $2 million, haven't even spent $2 million in their lifetime, and they're like 60, 70 years old. And you blew it all on a $20,000 bet that you bet on yourself so you wouldn't play, so you don't get the points. It's like, come on, man. Just stop being stupid. Like, don't do that.
He bet that they would lose. I mean, when I heard that he bet that they would lose a couple times, I was like, you know, you gotta be a low down dirty dog. You practice with these dudes. You travel with these dudes. And there's a bet. The Raptors are plus 12. Man, put me down for 15 grand.
Like, why?
We suck.
Why?
He said, man, I'm starting this game. Man, put me down for 15 G's because I know we ain't gonna win this game. And
hey, he joined the tender love report. I got a hangnail. I can't play.
If you bet that you win, there's some honor in that. I bet you we gonna win. Like, if we gonna race, I put my $2 on me, I'm gonna win. Mm-hmm. Now if I put $2 on me to lose, that's already a throw. I'm throwing that game. But you betting on yourself to lose, that's worse than the lowest low down boxer who takes a dive in a fight.
Yeah.
Like, I just like, come on, man. But this cat bet that they was gonna lose, that blew my mind. Like, even Pete Rose didn't do that. Pete Rose was like, I'm betting we gonna win.
Pete Rose like, I got $5 grand. We gonna win by 5 runs.
Yeah, I'm like, that's what it's all about. You gonna gamble. Like Michael Jordan got a gambling problem, but I bet you he always gambled to win.
Never trying to lose.
He never say we gonna lose. And that's low down, man. You practicing with your boy, hey man, go get him, man. Everybody, team on 3, 1, 2, 3, team. Man, we gonna get whooped. I got 20, I got 15 grand. We say we lose.
Hey, Kyle, I need you to get burnt twice.
I got how much? I got money on it. I gotta get a cut though. How much we gonna lose, boy? Okay. And it gets real sticky because once you in, you in. As far as point shaving and stuff, then don't get involved. So my words to the young folks, man, don't go down that road of gambling, of even shooting dice in the locker room, doing some of the hood stuff you used to do at the house, and you bring it to a college environment. You could lose your scholarship. You're an NFL player. You carry guns wherever the state you live in. You carry guns, and that team says there are no guns allowed in the locker room. You still bring guns in the locker room. Like, I had teammates in New Orleans who would bring their guns inside the practice facility, throw it in a duffel bag and not think about it. And I'm like, you're 5-year deal. You're 2 years into a 5-year deal. If someone comes in here and bumps into your bag and hears that ting of that gun hit the wall, and they say, what's in your bag? Your career is over. You know, it's like that stupidity on top of what they're doing with the young ladies on Instagram, as far as rotating and getting girls pregnant and having these 18-year financial obligations of a person making babies that you don't feel care for. Like, you're hearing Lou Williams dropping some serious knowledge on his podcast, talking about how NBA players are not responsible and they're buying all this love. And then when there's no longer any money coming in, the love is gone. So it's like a bad cycle. That's why they're broken 5 years after they finish playing, when they made $100 million and still find a way to smoke it off because they're not being responsible. They're being reckless, and they're doing that with their entire life. I mean, it's like bungee jumping with a cord. You think that might be too long. Like, you speeding, you're gambling, you're smoking, you're acting crazy. Man, your career isn't very long. If you
Not
play
at
10
all.
years, you're blessed. You play 3 years, you're blessed. I had a cup of coffee. On my little money, I bought a house. Some of my friends that played just as short as far as a career as mine, they bought cars and
Hmm.
stuff that depreciates. Man, take a note from the guys who are doing it right. Quit doing what you see these hip hop guys do. If you're gonna be an athlete, that's not your lifestyle, man. Do
No.
not don't try to be that. That there is a slippery slope, and majority of the guys that live that lifestyle, that stuff is rented, man. I mean, listen to Chad Ochocinco when he tells you he didn't spend any of his money and everything you see him with
Hmm.
is rented or knockoff.
Hmm.
Why are you perpetrating that this lifestyle is a reality? That you seeing guys racing cars doing 150 miles per hour, people getting, arrested for DUIs, being arrested for drug like distribution, like actually being a drug dealer while being an
Like
NFL
why?
player. Like
Like
wow, remember
why?
what was it? Was it Daryl Henley? What was that guy's name for the
Yeah.
Rams? That was
And
amazing
didn't
to
he
me.
play at USC, right?
Um,
No, he played at UCLA.
he was one of ours. He was like, and you went to UCLA. You're supposed to be lined up, a man of integrity, and you went out here. But I guess he felt that he could be a criminal that didn't get caught because I'm so smart.
Hmm.
I figured out. No, man, every criminal in the history of crime has been caught or killed.
Yeah.
So hey, don't go that route, man. He said, Elaine said, it's Michael Porter's brother.
Yeah, that's Michael Porter Jr.'s brother. Yeah.
Jonte Porter is his brother.
Hmm.
Oh boy, he's gonna have a 30 for 30. 30 for 30. SG said he wants an AC Green trophy, a statue out front with a Jerry curl.
Yeah, but he got a drip though. He got a drip.
A drippy one.
Got to have a water sprinkler with a little dripping system on
Elaine
it.
said, just shows that we are not all created equal at all. Brother
Not at
keeper,
all.
one straight edge brother, one out here gambling on games that, man, we gonna lose this game. We got about 25 seconds, man. Anything you want to say on the way out?
Hey man, hey everybody, stay blessed, stay prayed up, and let's start living better, healthy mental health lifestyles and our physical lifestyles as well.
I can't top that, man. I appreciate y'all. This is 1585 show, man. We be right back next week on this same station. Same bad channel, same bad station. That's Mac. I'm AC. We are out like last year. Peace.